the report you're publishing today?
The report is called Work in Progress Towards a Leaner, Smarter Public Sector Workforce. And the message of the report is that the public sector workforce needs to radically transform in order to meet future demand.
And why have you decided to focus on this subject now?
So these are turbulent times for public finances. The OBR kick-started the year by labelling public services unsustainable on their current trajectory. In the shorter term, we still don't know the impact that Brexit will have on the public purse. And we mustn't forget that the government is running a deficit of around £70 billion a year. Also, we see that over the last decade or so, public services have not grown in productivity. It's been around 0.2% a year. So these are real challenges facing the public finances.
And alongside this financial need for reform, we also have changes to demands and expectations. So it's a well-known fact that demographics are changing and we're becoming older, and this changes the kind of care that we need from health services. We also have changing crime. The latest statistics are showing that cybercrime is actually as high, almost as high as traditional crime. And then we have this population that's becoming used to online services where 80% of banking is done online, and they're also expecting to engage with public services in a different way.
Okay, so we've got a huge productivity and pure cost challenge here. We've got increasing demand and changing demand, and then we've got increased expectation from our citizens. It's no small feat to try and meet all of those challenges. What are you recommending then?
I mean, it's absolutely no small feat, and we do recognise that the public sector is made up of lots of different organisations, all of which are very different. But we do think that there are some underlying themes that could be addressed across the public sector that would improve the workforce. So these are to make it leaner, to make it smarter, and to make it better. And to make it leaner, we really need to utilise technology. And this will mean technology replacing some jobs. So the report that we've done has calculated that quarter of a million administrative staff in the NHS, the civil service and the police force could be replaced by technology. So for example, people working in a call centre, this work could be done online instead.
And a part of making it leaner is also changing the way hierarchy is built. So basically, when we were doing interviews for this report, we talked to a lot of experts, and a lot of them were talking about this idea of a frozen middle, which is middle management, where a lot of ideas sort of just stop, and that means innovation is stifled, and it also demotivates the people at the bottom of the hierarchy. And you can take a level out, basically, and improve motivation, thereby improving productivity and also making the workforce leaner.
And presumably that can apply to many different public sector workforces. Okay, so what about the smarter end of it?
So what we're saying is we need a new offer for recruitment, for instance. We're saying that government should take advantage of the apprenticeship levy that's coming up this year and offer more apprenticeships in public services. So for too long now, government is used to getting the same skill base in from graduates, albeit who fill an important function in some roles, but apprenticeships can offer a wider skill base. We also think that government can use the gig economy, so an Uber-like platform to get people into work. So this is a more radical offer for contingent labour and for more flexible approaches to labour for locum doctors and supply teachers, for instance. So that would provide a more efficient way for those people to get into public services in a more dynamic way.
And another hallmark of a smart workforce is one that learns from mistakes. So at the moment, 1 in 10 people who go into a hospital experience error. So we are advocating that there should be more national bodies that help the public sector to move away from this blame culture that currently exists towards a culture of learning and transparency.
Okay, so it sounds like this will lead to better outcomes for service users, and as you've described very well, higher productivity, lower cost, etc. But what about those people in those workforces whose lives are going to be impacted? So we've mentioned the potential job losses, but what about those who remain in different workforces? What's that going to look like for them?
Yeah, so we think this is also a better offer for workers, for people who remain in the public sector. Public servants are there to be servants of the public, right? So they should do the jobs that they can then see the results of and understand where they're adding value there, instead of following sort of rigid legacy approaches to hierarchy, for instance. So empowering people within the civil service to come up with new ideas and innovative ways by removing management layers. We think we'll do that using technology to deliver public services in a faster way. Will not only make it more sustainable, but make it better for the user, who can see their GP in an instant rather than wait for 2 weeks. And so we think that this is a more fulfilling, empowering offer for public servants.
And presumably in having a broader range of skills and a broader range of entry routes and backgrounds, actually you also get a higher performing workforce because it's more diverse, which may well be rewarding.
Exactly, yeah. You see in areas such as policing where diversity is crucial for people relating to the communities in which they're policing, and again that provides a more fulfilling route and job and enables them to achieve better outcomes, we think.
Great, so lots and lots in there. Obviously we encourage everybody to read cover to cover the report, but if they just wanted a headline takeaway, what would be the kind of one thing you'd want people to go away with? What's your message?
So we would want parliamentarians and public sector leaders to act now to improve the public sector workforce to make public services sustainable.
Great. And is this it on public sector workforce, or are you going to be picking up anything else?
We're going to be picking up on how these recommendations apply to specific workforces, and that will include the police, the NHS and education.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.